It started with a coffee mug. One morning, I reached for my favorite ceramic mug, the one with the hand-painted California poppies, and for a split second, my fingers just didn't close properly. The mug slipped, and if it weren't for a lucky catch with my other hand, it would have shattered on the floor. It wasn't a big deal, but it was a little signal, a quiet whisper from my body that things were changing. Have you ever had a moment like that? A subtle hint that you're not moving with the same certainty you once took for granted? Maybe it's a hesitation before stepping off a curb or a groan when you get up from your favorite armchair. These moments can be unsettling. They plant a seed of doubt. We start to wonder, is this it? Is this the inevitable slowdown? Let me tell you about my dear friend Barbara. At Tisha R, she was the picture of independence, but one afternoon she confessed something to me over tea. She'd started hesitating at the top of her staircase, her hand instinctively reaching for the wall. She described this feeling of her own body becoming unfamiliar, a stranger she had to cautiously navigate. It wasn't pain, but a quiet creeping doubt in her own stability. The fear wasn't about the stairs themselves, but what they represented, a potential loss of freedom. She, like so many of us, had started to believe that this decline was just a non-negotiable part of the deal of getting older. But I'm here to tell you, and I told her, that this belief is a myth. It is never, ever too late to reclaim your body's trust and vitality. You do not have to settle for a life that feels smaller or more limited with each passing year. Today, I want to share 5 foundational practices that will help you move with confidence, feel more vibrant, and truly inhabit your life. These are simple, gentle shifts you can begin today. And please stay with me, because the last 2 insights I'll share are the ones that truly tie everything together. Absolute game changers. Our goal isn't just to live longer, but to live better. You deserve a life filled with capability and joy. So let's begin this journey back to strength together. First, let's understand what's truly at play in our bodies. Aging isn't a stop sign. It's a signal to change your approach. The stiffness, the weakness, the slowness we often attribute to age is more often a direct result of inactivity. Think of it as a quiet protest from your body. My friend Barbara fell into this classic trap. The more she hesitated to move, the weaker her leg muscles became. And the weaker they got, the more daunting movement seemed. It's a vicious cycle that can make you feel old before your time. But when she decided to interrupt that cycle, everything shifted. Your body is a magnificent machine designed for motion. When it sits idle, like a classic car left in the garage, things start to seize up. The battery dies, the tires deflate. But the reverse is also gloriously true. The moment you start moving, your body eagerly responds. It wants to be strong, it wants to be resilient. The solution isn't a marathon, it's a single step. If a long walk feels impossible, start by walking to the end of your driveway and back. If you feel stiff in bed, do gentle ankle circles and stretches before your feet even touch the floor. If stairs feel like a mountain, practice stepping up and down on the bottom step a few times. Barbara began with a 5-minute walk each day. Within a few weeks, the change was undeniable. Her legs felt more solid under her, her balance was less of a question mark, and her confidence blossomed. You are never too old to build strength. Your body is ready to answer your call every single day. It's a journey we're all on in our own way. And I'd love to know who I'm sharing this journey with. If you feel comfortable, drop your name and the beautiful city you're in. Maybe you're in Phoenix, Arizona, or perhaps Portland, Maine. Let's connect. Second, we must stop normalizing exhaustion. Another quiet thief of vitality is that bone-deep weariness that can settle in. Do you know the feeling? You wake up feeling like you never went to sleep. By 10 p.m., the thought of doing anything but sinking into a chair is overwhelming. And by evening, you're exhausted, even if you've hardly done a thing. Barbara was convinced this was her new normal. But what she learned is that this kind of fatigue is rarely about age itself. It's a symptom of misaligned habits. Things like poor sleep, chronic dehydration, and ironically, a lack of movement are the real culprits. If you're constantly running on empty, it's time to become a gentle detective for your own body. Ask yourself, am I drinking enough water? Even mild dehydration can masquerade as profound fatigue. Is my sleep truly restorative? Restless nights lead to brain fog and physical stress. And am I moving my body even a little? The less you do, the more tired you will feel. Here's the simple prescription. Start with hydration. Keep a water bottle with you and sip throughout the day. Next, honor your sleep. Create a simple routine. Maybe it's turning off screens an hour before bed or reading a few pages of a book that signals to your body it's time to rest. And finally, infuse your day with small bursts of movement. It feels counterintuitive, but a short walk or a few gentle stretches will energize you far more than they will drain you. When Barbara adopted these simple habits, she was amazed. The afternoon slump began to disappear. She woke up feeling not just rested, but ready for the day. It wasn't aging that was stealing her energy, it was her habits, and habits can always be changed. Third, let's talk about the most powerful tool you have, your mindset. If there's one single thing that separates vibrant, active agers from those who feel defeated by the years, it's the stories they tell themselves. Your beliefs about aging will, without a doubt, become your reality. For years, Barbara had been living by a script that said, "I'm too old for that. Too old to start exercising, too old to change her habits, too old to feel strong again." Her body was simply following the script her mind had written. But the moment she began to question that script, to tear it up and write a new one, everything began to shift. She stopped seeing age as a wall and started seeing it as an invitation, invitation to care for herself with more wisdom and intention than ever before. If you believe you are too stiff, too tired, or too fragile to improve, your body will dutifully prove you right. But if you open yourself to the possibility that you are capable of renewal, that you can feel better, your body will rush to prove that right too. The choice, my friends, is entirely yours. You are not too old. Your story is not over. So here is my gentle challenge to you. Today, just for today, make one small choice that honors your future self. Maybe it's drinking one extra glass of water. Maybe it's doing 5 gentle stretches before you get out of bed. Maybe it's simply standing up during the commercial breaks of your favorite show. Each tiny action is a deposit in the bank of your future wellness. And trust me, your future self will be so grateful you started today. This was a huge turning point for Barbara. She was walking more, drinking her water, and paying attention to her energy. She was feeling better, undeniably, but there was still a piece of the puzzle missing. She'd still wake up some mornings feeling a little foggy, as if her mind hadn't quite come online. Some days her legs still had that stubborn, heavy feeling. And that wave of afternoon fatigue, though smaller, would still sometimes wash over her. It was perplexing. She was checking all the boxes, so what was she missing? That's when she stumbled upon the most overlooked, yet most critical, pillar of healthy aging, the profound power of sleep. Most of us think of sleep as just turning off for the night, but it's the opposite. It's when your body does its most important work every single night. It's running a deep biological repair cycle. It's mending muscle fibers, consolidating memories, and flushing toxins from your brain. If that process is cut short or fragmented, your body is essentially working with a skeleton crew, never fully catching up. When Barbara really looked at her sleep, she was stunned. It wasn't just that she was getting older, it was that her body was running on fumes, denied its nightly chance to rebuild and restore. Does any of this sound familiar? Waking up at RAM and staring at the ceiling? Tossing and turning, unable to get comfortable, or getting a full 8 hours but still feeling exhausted? We often write this off as just another part of aging. But you have so much more influence over your sleep quality than you might think. Here is what Barbara did and what you can do to reclaim your nights. First, she embraced routine. She began going to bed and waking up at the same time, even on weekends. Our bodies are creatures of habit and thrive on this rhythm. Second, she created a wind-down ritual. An hour before bed, the television went off, the lights were dimmed, and she'd listen to some calming music. This signaled to her brain that the day was done. Third, her bedroom became a sanctuary for sleep, cool, dark, and quiet. Within just 1 week, the change was profound. She started waking up feeling clear and refreshed, not groggy and depleted. Her body felt lighter and her energy was more consistent throughout the day. This is your gentle reminder. Deep, restorative sleep is not a luxury, it is a biological necessity. Don't let poor sleep undermine all your other efforts. But Barbara wasn't done yet. She had tackled her energy levels and her sleep, but there was still a silent habit that was working against her every single day. It's something we are all guilty of, a hidden danger that's become so normal we don't even see it. The danger of the chair. If I were to ask you how much you sit each day, what would you guess? 3 hours, maybe 5? Now, be honest and double it. Most of us, when we really track it, are shocked by the total. We sit for breakfast, we sit to read the paper, we sit in the car, we sit while we work on our hobbies, and then we sit in the evening to watch TV or chat with family. The chair has become our default setting. Barbara was no exception. She thought her daily walks were enough to keep her active. But when she took a mental inventory of her day, she was floored. The time added up to nearly 8 hours of sitting. And here is the sobering truth. Long periods of sitting actively work against everything else you're trying to achieve. It's like pressing the brake and the accelerator at the same time. Think of it this way. When you sit for extended periods, your body goes into a low power mode. Your circulation slows to a crawl. Your leg muscles, the very foundation of your mobility, begin to doze off. And your hip flexors tighten, pulling you forward and making it harder to stand up straight. Over time, this cumulative effect is why getting out of a low chair or dot tray, climbing a flight of stairs begins to feel like a Herculean effort. That wasn't a future Barbara was willing to accept, and I know you aren't either. So here is the simple, powerful strategy she used to reclaim her day from the chair. First, she started standing up for 1 minute every hour. She'd set a little timer on her kitchen stove. When it beeped, she'd stand, stretch her arms to the sky, and do a gentle twist. It was a tiny interruption, but it made a world of difference. Second, she looked for pockets of movement in her daily tasks. While waiting for her tea to steep, she would march gently in place. When she was on the phone with a friend, she would pace around her living room. While watching her favorite evening show, she would do simple leg stretches during the commercials. And third, she reframed movement as an opportunity, not a chore. She started parking a little farther from the entrance to the grocery store, seeing it not as an inconvenience, but as a bonus opportunity to get a few extra steps in. She began taking the single flight of stairs up to her friend's apartment instead of waiting for the elevator. Within weeks, her body felt different. It wasn't just stronger, it felt more awake, more responsive. Her legs felt lighter, and that feeling of being stuck in a chair simply melted away. Let me be clear, movement is the currency of independence. The more you sit, the more of that currency you lose, but you hold the power to change that balance. Start today. Move just a little more than you did yesterday. Your future self is counting on you. Barbara was feeling like a new woman. She was sleeping deeply, moving with purpose, and had reclaimed her energy. But there was one final, essential piece she was missing. Something that was affecting everything from her bone density to her mood. In the next and final section, I'm going to share the one free, effortless, and often overlooked element that can fundamentally transform your health. You won't want to miss this last piece of the puzzle. 6. The daily gift you're probably forgetting. Barbara was truly on a roll. She was moving more, sitting less, and sleeping better than she had in a decade. Her energy was back, her confidence was soaring, and she felt a sense of control over her own aging process that was deeply empowering. But then a subtle feeling began to creep in. On some days, her joints had a familiar low-grade ache. On others, her mood felt a bit flat for no reason she could name. She couldn't quite put her finger on it. That's when her doctor asked her a question so simple it was profound. "Barbara, how much time are you spending outside?" She thought about it. Sure, she took her daily walk, but the vast majority of her day was spent indoors. She had never, not once, considered that her indoor life could be holding her back. What she learned next was a revelation. We all know sunlight provides vitamin D, but we tend to underestimate just how crucial this is, especially as we get older. Vitamin D isn't just a vitamin, it's a key that unlocks countless processes in the body. It's essential for calcium absorption, which keeps our bones strong. It's vital for muscle function, keeping us flexible and less prone to aches. Without enough of it, bones can become brittle, the risk of falls increases, and movement can feel stiff and painful. And here's the kicker, our skin becomes less efficient at producing vitamin D from sunlight as we age. This means that if you're not intentionally getting some sun, your body is likely missing out on one of the most potent health boosters available, and it's completely free. Barbara had spent years chalking up her joint pain and occasional low moods to the inevitable process of getting older. But what if that wasn't the whole story? She decided to run a simple experiment. Every morning, she would take her cup of coffee out onto her small patio and sit for just 10 minutes. No fancy routine, no effort required. She just sat and let the morning sun wash over her face and arms. The results were astonishing. Within a few weeks, she noticed her mood felt brighter, more stable. Her joints felt less creaky in the mornings. She even started sleeping more soundly, and science absolutely supports this. Studies have shown that regular, moderate sun exposure can improve mood, regulate sleep cycles, boost immune function, and even support brain health. So let me ask you, how much time do you spend in the daylight? If the answer is not much, it's time for a change. And the best part is, this doesn't have to be a big production. Aim for just 2 minutes of sun on your skin each day. Morning light is particularly powerful for setting your internal clock, but any time of day is beneficial. Make it a pleasant ritual. Drink your morning beverage outdoors, take a short walk after lunch, or even just sit by a sunny window while you read. Of course, be smart about it. If you plan to be out for longer, use sunscreen. But don't fear the sun, your body craves it. 7. The simple habit that keeps you on your feet. One morning, as Barbara was carrying a bag of groceries in from her car, she felt a sudden twinge of weakness in her knees as she stepped up onto the porch. It was fleeting, but it was a clear signal for all the progress she had made. She realized she hadn't been doing anything to specifically strengthen the very things that carried her through the world. Her legs. And she knew, with a certainty that sent a shiver down her spine, what would come next if she ignored it. The struggle to get up from a low sofa, an unsteadiness on uneven ground, a growing fear of a fall. She had seen it happen to too many friends. A simple trip, a fractured bone, and in an instant their world shrinks. She was not going to let that be her story. The truth is, your leg muscles are the foundation of your entire mobile life. They are the pillars of your independence. The moment they weaken, every daily task requires more effort and carries more risk. But here is the wonderful news. Rebuilding that foundation doesn't require a gym membership or grueling workouts. Barbara simply began weaving a few minutes of targeted leg exercises into her day, right in her own home. Within weeks, the difference was profound. Getting out of a chair felt effortless. Walking to the post office felt easier. Climbing the stairs to her bedroom, she did it with a newfound confidence. If she can do it, so can you. Here are 3 simple movements you can start today. Koi, the chair rise. Sit on the edge of a sturdy chair, feet flat on the floor. Without using your hands, press through your heels and stand up tall. Then, slowly and with control, sit back down. Repeat this move to shoe times. This is one of the most functional movements you can do to maintain your independence. The seated leg extension. While sitting tall in a chair, extend one leg straight out in front of you, squeezing the muscle in your thigh. Hold for a moment, then lower it back down with control alternate legs. This directly strengthens the quadriceps, which are crucial for stable knees and good balance. The countertop calf raise, standing at your kitchen counter, hold on lightly for support. Slowly rise up onto the balls of your feet, hold for a beat, and then slowly lower your heels back to the floor. This strengthens your calves, which act like a second heart, helping to pump blood back up your legs. The secret isn't intensity, it's consistency. Barbara started with just 5 minutes a day. Now she moves through her world with the quiet confidence that her legs will support her. And that is the freedom I want for you. The final piece, the practice that transforms your body and mind. Barbara had come so far. She was energetic, sleeping well, and felt physically stronger, but there was still a lingering, subtle issue, a quiet tension that hummed beneath the surface. Some mornings her body still felt stiff, her joints reluctant to start the day. And then there were the mental hurdles, the background noise of aging, the what ifs. What if I slip? What if I lose my independence? The fear, though quieter now, was still there. She knew she needed something that could address both her body and her mind. That's when a friend suggested she try a gentle yoga class for seniors. At first, she was hesitant, picturing complicated poses she couldn't possibly do. But what she discovered was something else entirely. It wasn't about flexibility, it was about connection. This was the missing piece. Her body began to feel looser, more balanced. Her mind felt calmer, more centered. One of the greatest thieves of independence is the loss of balance. It's a slow, insidious process. We start to feel a little less steady, so we avoid uneven sidewalks. We hesitate before reaching for something on a high shelf, and then, one day, a fall happens. For so many, a fall is a turning point that leads to a loss of confidence and freedom. But both yoga and Tai Chi are scientifically proven to be two of the most effective ways to improve balance and prevent falls. Barbara started with simple, mindful movements, shifting her weight from one foot to the other, gently stretching her muscles. Within weeks, she noticed a remarkable change. Her fear of falling began to dissolve. She trusted her body's ability to hold her steady, but the most surprising benefit wasn't physical at all. It was the peace it brought to her mind. The constant low-grade worry she carried about her health and her future began to quiet down. The slow, deliberate movements of these practices taught her to breathe, to be present, to let go of the tension she held in her shoulders and her thoughts. For the first time in a long time, she felt truly at home in her own skin, not worrying about the past or fearing the future. How to start today? You don't need a fancy studio or special clothes. Your living room is the perfect place to begin. Start with 5 minutes. Simply stand, take a deep, slow breath, and stretch your arms gently toward the ceiling. Feel your body wake up. Focus on slow, mindful movement. Try a simple balance exercise. Stand near a wall or counter for support and slowly lift one foot just an inch off the floor. Hold for a few breaths, then lower it. The goal is control, not height. Let go of perfection. The purpose is not to master a pose. The purpose is to move, to breathe, and to connect with your body with kindness and curiosity. Barbara's journey wasn't a miracle, it was a choice. A series of small daily choices that compounded over time gave her back her life. She sleeps peacefully, moves with confidence, and feels in control of her own well-being. And now the choice is yours. Aging isn't something that happens to you, it's something you participate in. So what will you choose? Will you take one small step today toward a stronger, steadier, more vibrant you? Your body is ready. It's just waiting for you to say yes. If you feel inspired to start, I would be so honored if you would share in the comments what is the one small thing you're going to try first. I can't wait to hear your story.